Well, the Washington Commanders pick up their first win of the season. We're going to talk about that in today's podcast. Let's get to it. And welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel. My name is Greg Sykes. I am your host, and with this channel, of course, is dedicated to news and commentary for the Washington Commanders. If you're down with that, please make sure that you have subscribed to this channel. When you do, also make sure you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. Brandon and I were going to do a live thing right after the game, but he was at the Baltimore game today, and so I figured to give him a break, I'd go ahead and kind of just record something today. But we will definitely be doing some more live streams, especially after games. Now, the next game I believe might be a prime time game. So what we will probably do with that one, we'll probably give you a live podcast before the game starts, because honestly, some of us have to get up early the next morning and work. So I'm not sure if I can actually stay up that late. But regardless, anyway, so a win today for the Washington Commanders. Of course, it came upon, what was it, 7 field goal attempts, 7 by our new kicker Siebert. So Siebert came in after we let York go after his 2 badly missed field goals in last week's loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today, Siebert wound up being the guy to lead us to victory. Seven field goals, of course, all of them within, 45 yards. So a lot of short field goals, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter as long as he's putting those put those field goals down the middle. That's all I care. The Washington Commanders, of course, they had 6 or 7 trips within the red zone. Could not come up with a touchdown. We have to say that the New York Giants red zone defense was extremely stout, but at the same time, there were also several false start penalties that killed the drive there. Various players along that offensive line guilty of it. Sam Cosmi guilty of a couple of false start penalties that backed Washington up, and then ultimately the Commanders were just not able to punch it in for a score. They came so close, could not get it in for a score. But with that said, there were a lot of positives with this game. Of course, picking up a win is a huge positive for this team, but as well, just in general, there was just a lot of positives. Let's of course start with Jaden Daniels, who's 23 for 29 today for 226 yards. He averaged just a bit under 8 yards per pass attempt. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. He did a fantastic job protecting the football all day long. He was sacked 5 times for 16 yards. 99.1 quarterback rating. He did have rushing as well. He rushed on 10 carries for 44 yards. So, when he needed to, he did it with his legs. Now, at that one point, of course, we had a situation where it looked like he got the wind knocked out of him, and that was extremely, I'm telling you, I think everybody at that point was like, oh no, Jaden Daniels is down. Luckily, I was like, please tell me they're not looking at his knees or his legs, any part of his legs. And when it looked like they were just kind of checking his midsection, I was like, got the wind knocked out of him, should be fine. And of course, he was out for one play, came back and played well. I thought overall thought Jaden Daniels played really well today. But you know who else played really well? Who's so underutilized last year? Brian Robinson Jr. 17 carries, 133 yards rushing, averaged just a hair under 8 yards per carry. His longest was that 40-yard carry. That one carry where they needed that 1 yard, and he broke it loose for a huge gainer. I thought he was gone on that one, really, honestly. It was just fantastic. It was so exciting seeing Brian Robinson just have a monster day. It was a career day for Brian Robinson Jr. Austin Eckler, he had 8 carries for 38 yards. He also had some catches. He had 3 catches for 47 yards. So, Austin was close to 100 yards total with running and receiving today. And of course, we look at some of the other receivers. Zach Ertz, he had that, of course, that one play where it looked like the pass was getting picked off, and then Austin or Zach Ertz comes down with it, and I tell you that's a veteran move right there. Also had some other great catches, 62 yards receiving today. His longest, of course, was that 21-yard past him. Noah Brown got into the action today, 3 yards for 56 carries. Of course, Austin Eckler had some catches. Terry McLaurin caught 6 passes today, 22 yards. Slowly trying to get him worked in there. I think, the thing is with Terry McLaurin is that he is double teamed so many times, and right now teams are like, look, Terry McLaurin is number one guy, so you need to make sure that you have him locked up. The thing is now that teams are going to start to see that Jaden Daniels is going to go to Diami Brown. He's going to go to Austin Eckler. He's going to go to Zach Ertz. He's going to go to Brian Robinson out of the backfield every now and then as well. I mean, Brian had that one pass to him, 3 yards, wasn't much. But Jaden Daniels is going to do his best to spread the ball around. But he definitely was trying to get to McLaurin as much as he could today. I mentioned Diami Brown, who had 2 catches for 17 yards. John Bates had a catch. Honestly, I missed that one. I missed John Bates catching one. Olamide Zacchaeus had 3 catches for 14 yards. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels did really well with, I thought, spreading the football around, but just overall, Jaden Daniels really protected the football. And when he had a run, he did. You could tell that he was trying to stay in the pocket a little bit more because he wanted to see, he wanted to be able to get these passes off. There were times where I was like, oh man, he's going to get it. And then he stays in there and passes it. Just Jaden Daniels, I think as you slowly go through this season, you're going to see him continue to progress, but he's already starting off really well in my opinion. I would like to see some more touchdowns certainly, but that will come. That will definitely come. Again, the offensive line kind of, shot themselves in the foot, getting into the red zone, having these procedure calls and things like that. Then you got to hand it to the New York Giants defense. They just did a really good job within the red zone of just protecting and really, crunching down and locking things up. So you got to give the Giants a lot of effort and just accolades for that. The Washington Commanders, though, I have to say, they always seem to make the worst teams look their best. The Giants today, of course, they were being booed off of the field last week, and then Daniel Jones comes in and he has a great day, 16 of 28 for 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 5 carries for 32 yards. He always looks like the dual threat quarterback that we can't seem to stop. And else who we couldn't stop today was Malik Neighbors. Malik came out. He had 10 receptions for 127 yards, a touchdown. So I tell you, that was a good draft for the Giants with Neighbors. Neighbors really exposed our corners today. Just really tried his best to to just. What can I say? I'm getting lost here. I'm getting calls and everything like this, but we just really did not have an answer for Neighbors. I think finally we put Benjamin St. Juice on Neighbors, which I'll tell you, Benjamin St. Juice had a fantastic day, in my opinion. A very good day for Benjamin St. Juice. My hand is off to him. I think he really elevated his play today. Um, and just overall, made that secondary look a lot better than what it did last week. But of course, on the opposite side, Neighbors was just having a field day today. Overall, the defense. Now the defense played better in some areas, but the defensive line, in my opinion, was just trash. It was just horrible trash. And I hate to say that, but they just got gashed all day long. Singletary just ran all over our defensive front. Hate to say it. You did see Luvu and Wagner having to come up and make stops. Um, if it wasn't for an improved linebacker core, I mean, it probably looked even worse. Um, but yeah, the defense really continues to look bad. And it's funny because someone said on Twitter today, they were like, wow, the Dallas Cowboys, who of course today got blown out, just blown out, routed by um, the Saints, the New Orleans Saints. I'll get out in a second. 44 to what? 44 to what? Anyway, and someone on Twitter had mentioned, wow, Dallas is really missing Dan Quinn and Joe Witt. And I was thinking, so are the Commanders, because we have not seen anything great with the defense as of yet. The defense has a lot of work. We got to get something going with this defense. They have really got to start stopping some folks, and I think Dan Quinn and company, and Joe Witt, they're still trying to move people around, trying to find the right matchups and so forth. But the defense has fallen behind. Right now, the offense has looked really good. A lot of people felt that the offense would be kind of shaky, and that you may see this as the season progresses. The offense will probably have some games where they won't look good. Defense will actually start to look better. It'll feel like you'll probably take most of the year to get a good, solid game from each one. But I'm telling you, overall, the offense looked great. Just could not get into the end zone. That was the biggest thing. But thank God we had a field goal kicker who could at least kick these short ones. 7 for 7, was fantastic. 21 points scored by a field goal kicker's foot. So overall impressions, I would say that the team looked exciting on offense. Brian Robinson, monster day. Austin Eckler looked good. Zach Ertz looked good. We're starting to get Terry McLaurin involved a little bit more, thank goodness. Of course, Jaden Daniels looked solid today. Offensive line, I think, continues to try to get a little bit better. I can still see that they're going to have some issues on that left side. And so I don't think that Cornelius Lucas is the answer on that side there. But it's still work in progress. Certainly, I think we still need to have another draft or so to really get that offensive line up to par. But overall, pretty good day for the offense, minus, not being able to get in the end zone. Defense, shaky. When they needed it to stop, Neighbors dropped the ball for them. And that was purely, if it wasn't for that drop for Neighbors, who knows, we probably would have been talking about the Commanders being 0-2. But being able to pick up the first win of the season at home, I'm sure it was a very sweet thing to feel if you're at the game today. I would say three studs, three duds real quick. I would say my three studs: Jaden Daniels, solid. Protected the football, played really well today. Brian Robinson, without a doubt, Brian Robinson. Just a solid day for him. Outstanding. And then, the third, Honestly, it was a toss up between Eckler and Benjamin St. Juice. And you know what? I'm going to give it to Benjamin St. Juice because we have really been so tough on that defensive secondary. And I think that Benjamin St. Juice needs a little bit of pat on back. He played really well today. So I want to give it to him as being a stud. Now, a dud, of course, red zone offense could not get things going. The offensive line with their illegal procedure calls really put Washington in a bind. Could not score in the red zone. That was a big dud. The second dud, the defensive front. That defensive line got no pressure. It seemed like they could not stop the running game. You had to have the secondary and the linebackers come up to stuff the run, but they got gashed all day long, and it's been very concerning in my opinion. I really don't know what was the reason for not having Jamin Davis. He was a healthy scratch today. That was really concerns me. I'm not sure why, but he was a healthy scratch, and then coming up coming up on that, the third dud. Who would? What's the third dud? You would think. I would say anybody who was guarding Malik Neighbors today was probably the third dud because he had a monster day today. Just really outstanding. He's going to be an outstanding receiver for the Giants. And so, it's not necessarily anybody that I'm picking out as far as picking on as far as being duds. Just need better effort from the offensive line in the red zone. Need better effort from the defensive line to try to get pressure to the quarterback and to stuff up those runs. And of course, we need to continue to see consistent play from our secondary. I think Benjamin St. Juice is starting to show it. Even last week when Evans still caught that pass in the end zone, he was blanketed by Benjamin St. Juice. I mean, Juice did everything he possibly could, and it was just sometimes you're just not going to make the play. And so I think if anybody out of that secondary as far as corners, Benjamin St. Juice is looks like he has improved, and I think he will continue to improve. Michael Davis, really didn't see much out of him today. And Sanistril, of course, he's a rookie. I kind of give him a pass on things, but didn't really do a whole lot today. Kind of got caught on that little, I think it was a little drag route, and so it was the easy touchdown for Daniel Jones against Mike Sandstrill today. But other than that, the team did exactly what I kind of felt they were going to do. Felt that they were going to have this a tight contest. I didn't think anybody was going to run away with this whatsoever. I did think we were going to at least get in the end zone a couple of times. And if we did, then certainly the game probably looked a lot different. And honestly, I will also say this. If Graham Gano had not gotten hurt on that opening kickoff, it could have been a different ball game, because at some point, the Giants could kick a field goal when otherwise they had to, go for it or whatnot. And so, and of course, that missed field goal or missed extra point from their punter. That could have been a difference right there as well. So could have looked much different. It's funny how things like that could really change the complexion of a football game. You just don't really understand how things like that can really, really turn the tide. The Giants had to go for two a lot, and they didn't get those 2-point conversions most of the time, if any. And so, kicking extra points other than that could have been a much different ball game. Could have at least seen a point where the Commanders' only way to win was to score a touchdown. And so, overall, of course, I'm happy to see the Commanders winning, but it was ugly. I felt like it was ugly in a way. It wasn't impressive, but at least it's a win, and I'll take a win any day over a loss. So, what do they say? I'll take an ugly win over a beautiful loss any day. That's me. I'd rather I'd rather win 6-3 than to lose 48-45. So that being said, folks, hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you're enjoying all of these post-game videos from all of us content creators. Please support us. Again, consider subscribing to the Washington Football Maniacs when you do. When you do, also make sure that you hit that notification bell so you won't miss any other video releases. With that said, I am going to let you guys go. I will see you in the next one, and please take good care of yourselves.